Awesome.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sue Speaks. Today I'm having a conversation with Jordan Kilpatrick Smith about accountability, and he is one of the guys that I've met that have fun conversations with him. I come up with some great ideas. So Jordan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. So my name's Jordan. I'm a registered kinesiologist and a health and mindset coach. And so what I do is I help people to develop the proper skills, accountability, and mindset so that they can achieve their results.
Awesome. Okay, so Jordan, I guess let's just get straight to the conversation. And you were one of the first people that I met at one of the very first networking events that I had ever been to in my life that introduced me to the concept of the accountability partner. So do you want to tell everyone a little bit more about that whole concept of having an accountability partner?
Yeah, sure. So we as humans are really not good at keeping ourselves accountable, right? I think like everyone's been there where we say, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna set my alarm early, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna get out the door, I'm gonna go for that run or that walk, I'm gonna go to the gym or whatever. Tomorrow comes around, the the alarm goes off, and you're like, oh, just gonna go back to sleep. And we immediately let ourselves off the hook at like the smallest bump in the road, right? And so the accountability partner is really just someone who's there for you and you're there for them to check in. Because when you know that there's someone that's going to be like, hey, Sue, you told me yesterday you were going to get up and go to the gym. How did it go? You're a lot less likely to not do it, right? In the positive, you are more likely to go and do the thing you said you're doing. And it's an
Okay,
incredibly powerful tool.
so basically you're saying that maybe I'm going to be more likely to go to the gym if I have someone there that's going to check in with me after I go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yep. And
So my real question to you is, why do you think it's so hard for people to be accountable to themselves? Because this whole idea of the accountability partner, I get it. I am an accountability partner for some people. But my real concern was, is the change going to stick? Right? Because so I became a life coach, and part of my platform was that first, you work with the life coach. They teach you, like in the beginning, you're accountable to the life coach. Then we teach you, or I teach you strategies on how to become more accountable to yourself.
mm-hmm.
Because my end goal was that you would be doing this to yourself, like being accountable for yourself. Because my concern is, what if my accountability partner disappears or goes on
Yeah.
vacation?
Yep.
So do you understand what I'm trying to say about, like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. And I think the accountability partner is like a first step in a process. I don't think that people should be relying on them for the rest of their lives. And the reason I say that is the more we have to rely on other people, um, the more instability comes into our lives, right? Like we can't control other people. So like, why is it so hard to be accountable to ourselves, right? That was your
That's
first
pretty
question.
much my main question. Like, what's the
Yeah.
toughest part of that for everybody?
So I think that what it comes down to is that the things that we want to be doing often are uncomfortable for us, right? Because
True.
we're doing them because they are new for us. They get us to the results. And necessarily, we're going outside of our comfort zone. So when we go outside of our comfort zone and we're uncomfortable, the only thing that our brain focuses on by default is that negative feeling. And I think because we don't look past that and say, well, what about all of the positives that are going to come from this? Right? Like this is the gateway to those positives. And when we don't see that, it just becomes, well, this sucks and I don't like sucky things, so I'm not going to do it.
So I'm going to stay in bed, basically, and not go to the gym.
Yeah. Now, when there's someone else, it sucks more to tell you that I didn't do it when I said I was going to than me actually going to the gym, right? And so we choose the less sucky one.
Yeah,
is basically.
I kind of get what you're saying. So they're basically just the first step. It's not someone really that you would carry with you, because, the whole thing was I would hate to have a, like, the dependent relationship on the accountability partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you find that sometimes that happens? Like, have you had an accountability partner, or you've been someone's accountability partner, and then that dependency or codependency is kind of formed?
Yeah, and so the way that that has historically shown up is when they're not there, you don't do anything, right? It's not like um, a dependent relationship where like you cling to them. It's just that it becomes dependent in the sense that if they're not there, you don't do anything. And so that is ultimately the responsibility of each individual to make sure that that doesn't happen, because that's kind of like the easy way out is to just become totally reliant.
Okay, and have you ever had it kind of turn in such a way that, so if you were the accountability partner or your accountability partner wasn't there, you kind of blamed them for maybe not being successful? Would that ever be an option? Or have you ever heard of something like that?
Yep, and it's totally possible, but that's like a symptom of a larger problem, I think. So if that happens, what we're really seeing is that there's this tendency for being the victim instead of taking responsibility, right? Um, and if that's the case, then we got bigger fish to fry than the accountability.
That's just basically step one. Okay, so
Yeah.
I know that you are training for a marathon.
Yep.
And do you have an accountability partner, or are you basically, have you hit the stage now where you have become your own accountability partner?
I am. So I'm going to answer this in two parts. I am my biggest accountability partner, but it's still nice to have to be accountable to others. So in the beginning, where we are largely accountable to someone else and we're kind of accountable to ourselves, it's now at the point where it's the other way around, where I'm like 95% accountable to me and 5% accountable to other people. And to do that, like if you look at my Instagram or you look at, I talk to the people I know about me running the marathon, not to brag, but as a way to like keep me accountable to the things I say I'm going to be doing.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
well,
it's mostly me.
I was gonna say, I really like the idea you brought in, like, Instagram and Facebook, because I think for people that are alone, don't necessarily, there are some people out there with not a whole bunch of friends, not someone that you would feel safe enough to be like, look, I'm trying to lose some weight, or I got to go to the gym every day, or I'm trying to do something different, or quit drinking. So I think it's really a nice concept that we've got in the world now, that you could actually, post portions of your journey on Instagram and Facebook and look, like, I'm on day 8 of no eating sugar.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or day 3 of going to the gym, because I think that's also going to help people to stay accountable.
yeah. And the thing with the accountability partner is that not everyone, actually very, very few people make good accountability partners. And it is a skill that you have to develop to hold someone accountable. Because if your accountability partner makes you wrong for messing up, you are going to be left with this very bad taste in your mouth. And it's most likely not going to motivate you to do more. It's going to motivate you to quit. So, what we need is someone who can compassionately hold you accountable. And if you mess up, and you know what, chances are there's going to be times, because we're human, we're not perfect. But when that happens, we need to be able to look at that and say, okay, what can we learn from this? What can we gain from this? And the accountability partner has to be the one to be able to guide that. So that's where having a coach becomes very helpful.
Okay, so final question is, what do you think are the best qualities that you would look for in an accountability partner? Like, I'm a big supporter of coaching, whether it's for exercise, for health, for wellness, for just, managing your mental state, for your mindset, for your business. So what would a person you think would be looking for in either a good coach, or in our line of work, a good accountability partner?
Yeah. They got to be candid, right? And because I find that people either fall to one end of the spectrum. It's either like they sugarcoat everything and they really don't hold you accountable and they let you off the hook, or they just like beat the crap out of you for messing up. And I think the where it should be somewhere, no, actually like in the middle, where they're not beating you up for it, but they're also not sugarcoating it, being like, look, you said you were going to do this, you didn't do it. What's going on? And how can I help you? They got to be there to support you. So candid, they have to be compassionate and caring. If they don't care about you, they're not going to hold you accountable. They're not going to check in, right?
Yeah.
It's candid, caring, and curious. We'll go with three C's. The third one's curious, right? And that way we can find what is it that's going on? What didn't work here? And what can we do better next time?
Yeah, you know what? I like the curiosity piece because the whole thing with accountability is like you really need to find out why you're not following through.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not until you find out that you're going to start being able to make the conscious effort to start following through over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any last thoughts on accountability?
If you struggle with accountability, you're not alone. Like, don't beat yourself up for it because I think it's a very human thing and it's a hard skill to develop, but it's a necessary skill. So, wherever you are on that path, start developing it. And if you need help developing it, don't be afraid or ashamed to reach out for help because most people, I would say 99% of the people I talk to need help.
Well, yeah, and I think that's part of the key. It's like you don't have to do everything alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're human beings, we need to connect with people. And I think when you're doing it and you have some kind of a support system, it makes it a lot easier to accomplish all your goals.
Totally.
All right, so thank you for taking the time out to join me on
Of
Susie
course.
and having a little banter because this was literally burning a hole inside me for the last couple of days. So you have a good one, Jordan. Take it easy.
Thanks, Sue. See you later.
Bye.